Join my Discord server as it's received a revamp and follow my Twitter right now. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Now I know I haven't uploaded in a whole month. However, I am aware that a lot has happened. Daisy Circuit getting announced for Wave 6 in the teaser, for characters which, well, I am officially declaring myself the god of that. Mario Kart Tour ending, and probably some more. On the topic of I haven't uploaded for a month. Oh my god, I was literally a single turn away from getting Madrid to right. I surprisingly got this part, which I know is a different location. But it looks similar to the train station. Now the video, which is going to follow this one, are my most probably final Wave 6 prediction video. But in this video, I will predict the remaining routes for the cities and Piranha Plant Cove in this video. I will be starting from easiest to predict to the hardest, which funnily enough, is literally just the order they were released in. So do you think you will agree with my route predictions? Watch the video to find out, starting with Piranha Plant Cove. Now starting off this video, we have Piranha Plant Cove. This is easily the easiest route to predict that even a toddler could. And I and many others would be pleasantly surprised if the route is anything but this. These are all of the 3 routes of Piranha Plant Cove combined. This is the first variant, this is the second, and this is the third. As for the first lap, it is pretty easy to predict that it is going to be the first variant. Not only is it the most relaxing and simple one, it also follows a pattern. Every single city track has always started with their first variant, besides Berlin Byways 2. However, Berlin 2 was actually the first variant to release. If that doesn't show you how much of a pattern it is, even Vancouver, with how ambitious the first variant is compared to the others, is only lap 1, leaving the least ambitious as the final lap. So you start off on some staircases, take a left then another left with this path here, take yet another left back in the water, a right with some stairs and thwomps, and finally 2 extra lefts to finish it off. As for lap 2, it is also easy to predict that it is the normal Piranha Plant Cove 2. It is a tiny step up from the first variant, but not as ambitious as the third. And yes, this starting line will be removed unless you want chaos to havoc and make one lap extremely long or just make the course's routing stupid. You start off the same stairs, take a U-turn with 2 paths, avoid some piranhas, take a glider, and some final turns. Then for the final lap, it's the third variant, the most ambitious with the ship shortcut, the atmosphere, and that's it. Anyways, this was very easy to predict, so let us move on to the next track, Avanti. Avanti, the city that caught everyone by surprise when it was Rio, and the track, which I don't know why, but is somehow my second most hyped Wave 6 track. Depending on how this is executed, this may actually be in my top 3 favorite cities, even besides my strong recency bias. With its amazing music, fun and difficult layout, and just the atmosphere. However, I'm not here to gush about Avanti, I'm here to predict its route. This is Rome 1, Rome 2, and Rome 3. And if you're wondering why I changed the direction from Tour, it's because in the BCP with some exceptions, all track maps start with the finish line being north. Just like I said with Piranha Plant Cove, the first lap is Rome 1. Not only is this the most simple and has that pattern, but it's a nice warm-up with the long Colosseum road but still having tight turns. Another note is that on this, both sides of the roundabout will be accessible since Nintendo loves doing that. However, it isn't fully being lap 1. When we reach this turn over here, instead of taking a left like the normal Rome 1, we take a right. What this does is makes us go in reverse, allowing us to go to the finish line and do Rome 2 as lap 2, since it is in reverse. You may wonder why I didn't do Rome to reverse, but it would feel so unbelievably awkward going down the stairs and this awkward glider when we have to perfectly find ones in Rome 3. I've seen people say we can use the T-ramp, however the thing is, it's that one awkward tour ramp. You could argue they used it in Athens, but unless they wanted 3, which would be so awkward, yeah? Another pattern is that they normally use reverse variants only if it keeps the route simple and it doesn't completely change the perspective of the course. Now you may say, but you always say the first route is always one, so why change it? Well, Athens and Los Angeles laps exist. Plus, in this context, it is a literal one-turn change. Credits to CEO of Lasagne Productions for this and this. In here, both sides of the roundabout will be accessible. And similarly to lap 1, instead of taking a right on this, we take a left for 2 reasons. 1, that we don't completely miss a road. 2, it aligns us perfectly to do Rome 3. The most ambitious with this glider, and especially the cobweb road in the Colosseum. Once again, both sides of the roundabout are accessible. Now let's move on to the final one, Madrid. You'll see why I have this as the last one. Madrid Drive, somehow the only city track in which I played all 3 variants of it in Tour. A track which first variant I find very, and I mean very boring. The hardest Wave 6 city route to predict. It is not the whole course, which is next to impossible to figure out, it's lap 2. And you will see why. Now okay, this may seem crazy, however, the first lap is going to be Madrid 1. for the exact same reasons. Wow, insert clapping sound effect here, or something. So you take a right turn, a circle, ramps, some turns, a big stadium, and then a turn. By the way I explained it, you can already kind of tell I don't enjoy Madrid 1 as much as other people. However, here comes the big problem. Madrid 3 in reverse, or the normal Madrid 3. You may think this is kind of dumb. It's obviously Madrid 3, because like you said they only do our variants if it keeps the route simple. However, I have some counter-arguments to Madrid 3. Not that I don't think it's impossible, but I think 3 in reverse is more likely. Starting off, let's look at realistically what Madrid 3 is like in 8 Deluxe. Huge thanks to Tari for this mod, which is a good example. Now we have a turn, and this big U-turn, and we run into the first problem. This. If you have more than one brain cell, you may be able to tell that this flings you too far. Granted, this is 200cc, and I am 99% sure half of the courses are not made with 200 in mind. But come on, look at this. Then we run into a bigger issue. Now since Madrid 3 is in this direction, the point would be to trick off this staircase, land next to the escalator, and trick off of it. And if you don't, maybe try this cut. However, look at this. Not only is it too far to land on the escalator, it's too far that you cannot even do the shortcut. On 150 it may be a bit better, but at that point you would land right on the escalator, and you would need to have the reaction time of the 5-second rule, except it's the 1 millisecond rule to trick off of it, not even being able to do the shortcut. And Madrid 3 reverse has way more going on, a better fit for wave 6, therefore, we take a left here. And yes, the turn is too tight. However, just like what they did with Singapore Speedway, they can slightly alter the model. There will be a second starting line here. Then there's some turns in this, and Piranha Plants with an actual accessible shortcut, which you do not fling over. Looking at you, Madrid 3. And in this section, the whomps would be removed mainly because of the wigglers. Then, we take some turns, and lap 3 is Madrid to mainly, so some of the songs aren't locked in lap 3. Then you go over this, some turns, in the Plaza Mayor, Market, and some turns to finish it off. Anyways, those are my route predictions for the remaining Wave 6 courses. Do you agree, or do you not? Let me know in the comments. Keep in mind that this is sort of a filler video, so we'll make up with it that the next video is going to be my Wave 6 predictions. Anyways, go play Mario Kart, and goodbye pinballers.